Let's do a stop practice. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Take a few breaths. Observe your experience in this moment. Then proceed mindfully into your next moments.
Hello! Welcome to Sacred Space. And today we're going to be talking about Emergent Theatre.
Yes.
What it is, what's the history, and what is it in practice. Alright, so today we're joined by our two guests, si Telay and Joshua. So we would like to... Sorry, Ade. That's your name. Yeah,
Okay.
so let's begin first with introducing yourselves, no, and how do you take part of the whole Emergent Theatre community? So let's begin with Telay.
Hi! Hello everyone. My name is Telay. I am a part-time teacher in two schools, college professor in two schools, also taking up my master's, and also getting mga freelance acting jobs and a part of Emergent Theatre.
Hi everyone, my name's Ade. I always started out with spelling it. It's ADE, not ATE. On paper, I'm a freelance theater artist, but I would like to describe myself more as a student, a learner, a brother, a lover, and I'm also a practitioner in ET. So yeah, that's who I am.
So we have, I believe and I understand, theater practitioners today as guests, and you yourself, no? And so there is a traditional understanding and perspective of a lot of people about theater. But what do we mean when we say emergent theater?
So in 2008, that was perhaps for me my turning point. I've been in theater for the longest time, since high school actually. And then I got into a professional theater organization. And even no high school hanggang doon sa professional theater organization, I felt that this was not the kind of theater that fully helps people. Parang ganon. Maraming aspeto ng theater, lalo na sa Pilipinas, yung I would even consider toxic. I found myself very frustrated with a lot of things, even yung for me, nakita ko na progressive and really pushing for educational approaches to theater or, other aspects, para feeling ko mayroon pa rin kulang. Meron pa rin siyang pwedeng puntahan that could really be powerful, that theater could really be a powerful tool. So, I kept at it, I kept asking myself, ano kaya itsura nun? And then by 2010, we had this conference, international conference called Emerge. And during that time, we had different circles. So my media circle, my education circle, and then my theater or arts circle. And dun sa arts circle, we explored questions about the state of the arts, and so may visual artists, may performing artists. And dun ko nakita yung nasimulang tingnan yung freedom of where we could lead theater or where it could go. So, parang seed siya na na-plant. And then I kept asking again, also, paano to mabubuo? And then, out of the blue, mga inspirations, theater exercises actually, yung came into mind, but it was a different flavor. When I was, nung dumatating siya sa inspiration, iba yung itsura niya. Parang it was wanting to be redefined. More than just having the skills, or you could have this voice, or you could have this body. So, hindi siya ganon. It's more about anong ibig sabihin talaga nun. What is it really asking of us, telling us? Parang may ibang meaning making na nangyayari. So, I kept at it, and then eventually, so the exercises, sulat na ako ng sulat, and then parang 2016, I got I started getting invited to share about it. Ano ba to? And then, the first time I publicly shared it, parang merong kakaibang reception. Na parang, wow, what is that? Is that a theater form? Is that a performing art form? Yung ganon. So, medyo na-excite ako actually na parang may posibilidad nga to. But I was still like, sino kasama ko? Isa lang pa rin ako. Ako pa rin yung nakakaintindi. Yung ibang mga tao ay invite. Di nila nagigets. And then, tamang-tama nung time na yon, I got into mindfulness. And then, yung mindfulness pala, yung missing piece. Okay. Parang, we have to ground a theater form into a specific practice. Mm-hmm. And yung specific practice niya na yun, at core, was mindfulness. Fast forward to 2019, after how many years in mindfulness, na-meet ko si Telay at saka si Ade. And then, when we were doing the programs, magkahiwalay na programs silang dalawa. And yung first was Ade, I met him. And then, simula pa lang, wala na siyang sinasabi kundi frustration niya dun sa kanyang field and everything and all that. And then, so, after nung program, bago matapo, parang yung last day, sabi ko, I think Ade, we should be talking. Sabi ko gano'n. So, I met him and then shared with him the Emergent Theatre, etc., etc. And he was like on board. So after nun, I met Telay naman in another program. Si Telay, ibang version naman siya. Sa kanya, it was like she had all sorts of things that she was sharing in the program. And then nung last day, dun ko lang nalaman na theater performer siya. And then she had this perspective about theater and she was feeling that she wasn't well or she was unhealthy within the field or the industry. And then, sabi ko rin sa kanya, okay, mag-usap nga tayo. So, nag-usap ulit kami. And then, eventually, silang dalawa talaga yung nakita ko who was parang just ripe and ready to explore this form. Because I think yung common denominator namin tatlo talaga is that not only we're passionate about theater or performance, but we're also frustrated about the industry. But more than that, we wanted something else. Mm-hmm. And because of that desire for something else that will help us with our afflictions, makakatulong siya sa amin. And kung makakatulong siya sa amin, baka makakatulong rin siya sa iba. Mm-hmm. So that really was how the three of us met, how Emergent Theatre formed. But then, that's also my part of the history. And I'd like to believe that is where pag pinag-usapan yung Emergent Theatre, yun yung history ko. But then, the moment I met them, that's also already our shared history na, kaming tatlo. Mm. So, I'll end there and I'd like to hear naman from Ade and from Telay, ano yung naging tanggap nila or ano yung nakita nila dun sa Emergent Theatre.
Right, and why you were easily parang onboarded with that
recruited.
Recruited by her. Yeah.
Yes, yung basically yung kinuwento ni Nex is the history part of talagang yung pinaka-bud of it. And I would like to say that it is still ever evolving. Hindi pa talaga siya final. And I like to compare that to to life kasi nothing is final. Kumbaga, there are new things to discover, there are new things to explore. Pero one of the main things that we still keep in touch is, besides mindfulness, is getting to know ourselves as humans and how do we express humanity through our performances. And with performances naman, it's funny kasi we do these practices, we have our meetings, but at the end of the day, we still don't know how it looks like. Because it's not dependent on us practitioners. Kasi with Emergent Theatre, what we do, it's really more of an experience. And it doesn't stop on stage. Actually, may stage ba? Ganun yung tanong eh. May stage ba? We do not have audience. What we do have are participants. We do want to have this sort of, it's a space that is safe and that is you can freely express yourself as a human, and we get to explore feelings, explore stories, And may at the same time may accountability din eh. It's like it's not just shocking everyone. It's like yes, feelings like ganun. Diba kapag usually like when we watch movies or when we do watch theater and stuff, like we are there for the entertainment part of it. We're there for like all the sparkles and everything. Pero sa amin, it's really more of we take out of all those sparkles. It's really just about you, me, us. It sounds experimental. Actually, yun nga, sabi nga ni Nex na when she opened this up to people back in the days, ano ba yan? Theater ba yan? Or is it performance art? It's like blending, wording, ganyan. And at the same time, we don't know. I mean, we don't, probably because we don't want to label it as such. Because what we know is you're just there. It's a place to just be. And it's very abstract. To actually, ang hirap din niya i-describe pero it's very abstract. Pero once you're in this space, then you'll understand. It's really more about having a space, a safe space, a sacred space to perform. May iba din yung performance namin like to perform and to just be.
Siguro for me, I'll start with how I got into it because I feel like that's really a starting point, how I got into theater first actually. Because when I was young, when I was in high school, I found self-expression through theater. I found salvation or like refuge in the performing arts because that's where I felt like I had a voice. That's where I felt like I could do good things for others, and because I know it saved me. But the moment I stepped into college and I took the theater arts course, it was a big cognitive dissonance for me because I know this is the performing arts that I can express myself, but why does it feel so painful? Why does it feel so toxic? Why am I suddenly feeling all of these negative emotions that I can't seem to process? So by the end of it, when I graduated theater arts, I had the form, I had the theories, but then I didn't have that tool inside of me to say that I can perform as myself. So I guess that's what appealed to me when Nex approached me. It's because it's finding that link between how can I be well and still be in that creative, performative aspect and marry that too, because I know deep in my soul that it is possible, that you don't have to bare your soul by scratching out all of your wounds open. And that's what convinced me to go with Nex. And the thing about how it feels now for me compared to like that incomplete feeling, it allows you to remove all of your layers, all of your armor, all of your conditioning from this world, telling you how to perform, how to act, and really goes back to how can I step into this world as myself, just embracing yourself, loving yourself, and accepting your shortcomings, going back into that understanding of yourself and being able to use that understanding of yourself to expand the safe space for others. That's why we call it theater as a sacred space and performance as a sacred practice.
Actually, to add to that, for me, almost the same reasons of Ade. That's why I joined. I was never a theater student, but I've always loved performing. I'm always into, I don't know, singing, dancing, acting, and all that. And when I finally got into theater and I did all these acting, yes, agree. I did fall in some sort of slump or in the dark place because everything was so unhealthy. There was a romanticization of pain. There was a romanticization of struggle. You have to struggle in order for you to get the role. You have to. People are even praising people who are actually harming themselves para makuha yung ginagawa nila. So, how is that healthy? I mean, I didn't feel safe, but at the same time, I was convinced at that point that dapat ganun nga. But then being introduced to this concept, it was very shocking siya sa akin. Na parang, pwede pala yun. And ang dami mga usual kong iniisip about theater na parang magmamatch ba siya? Does it matter? Katulad nito, parang hindi ba parang kaya nga acting you have to be like someone else? What is this yung sinasabi you have to be yourself and be human? But at the end of the day, na-realize nga namin na it's really more about how do you express the human properly and safely, because yun nga, a lot of things na yes, you get into the process of getting into character or getting into the piece or whatever, but then it's not always safe or it's not being taught how to safely come back sa pagiging tao, pagiging ikaw, ganyan. Kaya ang daming manifestations of heaviness, daming manifestations of let's say depression, anxieties after a role, after a scene, after a film, na hindi mo siya naaalagaan ng sarili mo after. So at least with this one, I really appreciate na talagang there is a sense of taking care of the self.
To get updated in our latest episodes, you may follow The Sacred Space by Conscious Heart Creations in Spotify, Google Podcast, and other podcast channels.
Follow Conscious Heart Creations in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We also invite you to be part of our Healing and Empowerment Community Facebook group and send us an email if you want to join our Emergent Theatre PH activities.
You can find all the links to our social media accounts and email address on the description box.
Welcome back to the second segment of this wellness episode where we talk about emergent theatre.
Yes.
So a while ago during the discussions, I'm getting a sense of, emergent theater as a disruptive technique, but an innovative theater technique, right? And so I just wanted to also ask you as the founders, co-founders, and whatnot. No, practitioners. Wait, that's how you call it. Practitioners. No. How do you now bring emergent theater to try and connect to a lot of people?
Well, definitely the pandemic did bring a lot of change to us, not just us, the whole world. Of course, theater is a social event. Everyone gathers there, and now we can't be beside each other. So that's when we started thinking, what can we offer? And then we created that idea of having the online safe space here over Zoom. And that's when we just invited everyone. Our community, we call it a community because anyone who joins us, we automatically let them know that they are a part of the community and they are our safe space. We created that online safe space. It was, I think, 3 hours every Sunday where we meet again with our community, do some practices that we already did before, just to see how they're doing, really checking in on them. How are they? What's their experience during this pandemic? Really getting that idea of the well-being of that person in that time. And what was beautiful about it is that a lot of people saw it as a lifeline. People started coming to our safe space because they recognize that these are the things that they don't get to grieve about, they don't get to share to other people. And the safe space gives them that non-judgmental place where they can just feel what they're feeling, process their emotions, and even find that community in amidst all of that pain, all of that confusion. And we even continued it on to having shorter versions of it, and that's what we call the online community cafe.
When we officially closed the first online safe space, nagpa-survey kami and everything, and then parang gusto pa rin nila. Kami din, gusto pa rin namin. And then we continue it, try to make it shorter naman, just para maiba. Kasi again, we are still exploring things and we're still seeing things that what could work with us, what could work also with the participants. Yung online cafe became a place naman as well. Yun nga, it became a safe space. We get to know the people. It is kumbaga, we allowed people to share what they want to share. Kumbaga, wala namang pilitan siyang it's a space na walang pilitan. And it's also a space also to self-discovery, I guess. Kasi alam niyo yun, it's interesting that we saw even the people in our community grow throughout the times that we were together. And even ourselves, parang tipo, parang may na-discover din ako along the way. Because yun nga, like I said, it's not always a staple thing. One of the struggles ng kami ni Ade when we were hosting or when we are training to be hosts of these events, laging kaming, "Hoy, what is our objective? What is the script? What is the outline?" Mga ganyan. And then parang because of those struggles, saka lang namin na-realize na, okay, it's not about looking for outputs agad. Because ang mangyayari yan, pipilitin namin siya mangyari kasi we allow things to happen. One of the things that I've learned from the MBCT and also from my mindfulness and from Emergent Theatre is that it's different. Magkaiba ang allowing and forcing. So we just kept on going with that. We just allow things to happen, not force an output or not force an expectation to come out. So it's really just a sense of allowing, and it's more forgiving that way. And it's more at mas dahil you are and because you are allowing that to happen, mas may space also for growth. So, yun nga, that's what's happening. And then eventually, ito yung balak namin eh. So since we kept on doing these cafes, and I think in the few months later, we're gonna relaunch it again and have more practices and stuff. We are gearing to a physical show eventually. We'll see what happens. Nandun lagi tayo, so we'll see, because we don't know what's gonna happen with our country or with the pandemic and everything. But we are gearing all of these cafes that we're gonna do online in the next months are gearing for a physical show. Hopefully nandun din kayo. So yes, and see, para makita yun din na there is something that we also offer physically na could be something na hindi nakukuha din in online. Kasi we can only do so much. But at the same time, we're actually amazed that may nagagawa kaming kakaiba din. May nabubuo din na may authenticity online with this.
Yay! I'm looking forward for the physical performance. And how do they reach you guys if some of the viewers and listeners would like to become part of the Emergent Theatre community?
So definitely you can contact us via our Emergent Theatre Facebook page. We just have that for announcements, for things we share online. We don't share a lot, not yet, because we still want that safe space, and we know naman na social media is not always a safe space. And then we also have our email. You can contact us via emergenttheatreph@gmail.com. We have our contact numbers then dun sa Emergent Theatre page. I think now we have that. So you can also reach us there.
Yeah, but we're going to link all of those contact informations and information about Emergent Theatre in our description box.
Yes. So we would definitely want to encourage anyone and everyone to join our events, join our safe spaces, and be part of the Emergent Theatre community. We also want you to watch out for that 2021, hopefully, that 2021 physical gathering, physical or public show, public performance, whatever that looks like. But definitely, it's what we soft launched. It will be something else. So it's magaling, panibagong kwento ni Malakas at Maganda. But what that looks like, we still don't really know. Dahil it will emerge.
Okay.
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yes, it's emergent. So thank you to Telay and Ade. I cannot be more than happy to have these two very committed, very professional people who are part of Emergent Theatre.
Yes, with all the projects.
We also do Emergent Theatre cafes or processes for other companies, institutions, organizations. Feel free to contact us for any possible collaborations.
All right. Thank you very much for these two wonderful guests. And of course, we have just wrapped up our session or our episode about Emergent Theatre. And now, at least, if not all, most of the viewers and listeners are now quite aware of how it is different from the traditional theater practice. Right?
Or what is this new theater form that we're kind of creating.
Yes. Okay, on that note, thank you very much. And this has been your host. This is Krizel.
And this is Nex for Sacred Space.